I gave my best friend $20,000 to start her business. She got successful, then told people she did it all herself, and I was jealous of her success. I showed up to her product launch with a loan contract projected on the wall. I just ruined my former best friend's product launch by projecting our $20,000 loan contract on the wall behind her while she was giving her speech. So my friend started her business 3 years ago. She had this idea for sustainable activewear and I believed in her. She was 29, I was 31, and we'd been close since college. When she asked if I could help fund it, I didn't even hesitate. I had some inheritance money sitting around and she seemed so passionate. I gave her $20,000. We signed a contract. 0 interest, she could pay me back whenever the business got profitable. I told her to take her time. I genuinely just wanted to help. The business took off. Like really took off. She got into boutiques, then bigger stores, then she was doing online sales that were apparently crazy good. I was happy for her. I'd see her posts about grinding and manifesting success and I'd comment supportive stuff. Then about 8 months ago, she started getting distant. Wouldn't return my calls as much. Always busy. I figured she was just swamped with work, so I didn't push it. 2 months ago I saw an interview she did with a local business magazine. The interviewer asked about her funding and startup journey. She said, and I quote, "I bootstrapped everything myself. No investors, no handouts. Just pure determination and hard work. That's what makes this success so sweet." I felt sick reading it. I texted her like, "Hey, saw the interview, kind of weird you didn't mention the loan?" She responded 3 days later. "That was a personal loan between friends, not a business investment. I don't owe you credit for my success." I tried calling. She didn't pick up. I tried again. Nothing. Then last month, my sister sent me a screenshot. My friend had done an Instagram live where someone asked if she'd had help starting out. She laughed and said, "Honestly, when you're a woman in business, people always want to claim they helped you. Like crabs in a bucket, you know?" I had people who were jealous before I even started making money. People in the comments were asking who she meant. She didn't name me, but she said an old friend who thinks lending money makes them a business partner. It's sad, really. I was furious. But also confused because, I never claimed to be a business partner? I just wanted acknowledgement, maybe my money back now that she was clearly doing well. I sent her one final text. "You took $20,000 from me. You signed a contract. I've never asked for credit, just honesty. Pay me back and we're done." She blocked me. So I found out through mutual friends that she was having this huge product launch event last week. New line, big venue, press invited, the whole thing. I thought about it for maybe 2 days. Then I contacted the venue, said I was helping with the presentation setup, and asked about their projection system. The coordinator was really helpful, showed me how everything worked when I stopped by to check it out. Day of the event, I got there early. Like really early. I had the loan contract on a USB drive, converted to a massive PDF. When the venue coordinator stepped away, I loaded it onto their system and set it to override whatever presentation she had queued up. The event started. Maybe 150 people there. Press, buyers, influencers. She got on stage in this gorgeous outfit, all smiles, started her speech about her journey and vision. "I built this from nothing," she said. "Every late night, every sacrifice, every risk was mine alone." That's when I triggered it. The screens behind her went black. Then our loan contract filled the wall. Every page. The $20,000 amount highlighted. Both our signatures. The date from 3 years ago. She stopped talking. Turned around. Her face went completely white. I stood up in the back. "You didn't build it from nothing. You built it from $20,000 of my inheritance money. Which you still haven't paid back." The room went silent. Someone started taking photos. She just stood there, mouth open, staring at the screen. Her business partner, who apparently didn't even know about the loan, walked on stage and started whispering to her. She grabbed the mic and said, "This is a personal matter that has nothing to do with tonight," but her voice was shaking. I walked out. Didn't stay for the rest. Since then, my phone has been going crazy. Mutual friends saying I humiliated her. Her family called me vindictive and petty. Some people from the event reached out saying they were glad I spoke up because she'd been acting like she was completely self-made. Her business partner apparently confronted her about hiding the loan and there's drama there now. She finally unblocked me yesterday to send a long message about how I'd sabotaged her career and proved I was always jealous and how she'd pay me back but I'd ruined any chance of reconciliation. My family is split. My sister thinks it was justified. My mom thinks I should have just sued her quietly instead of making a scene. I don't feel great about it, but I also don't really feel bad. Like she lied publicly, multiple times, and made me out to be jealous when I was literally just asking for my money back. But now I'm seeing posts from her supporters calling me bitter and saying I'm trying to tear down a successful woman. So I guess I'm wondering if the public humiliation was too far. Should I have just taken her to court instead? The video went viral. I didn't even know someone had recorded it until 2 days after the launch. Then suddenly it was everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Woman exposes former friend's lies at product launch with 4.3 million views. The comments were split, but most people were on my side, which I guess felt validating but also made everything so much worse. Her business took a massive hit. Like within a week, 3 boutiques dropped her line. Her Instagram comments turned into a war zone with people calling her a fraud and a liar. She posted this long apology that didn't actually apologize, just said she could have been more transparent about her funding journey and that she valued all the support she'd received over the years. Never mentioned my name. Never mentioned the $20,000. Her business partner quit. I found this out through a mutual friend who's still in contact with both of us, trying to play Switzerland even though I told her to pick a side. Apparently he felt betrayed that she'd hidden such a major loan, said it made him question what else she'd lied about. The company had been planning an investor pitch and he was furious she'd jeopardized it. My phone hasn't stopped. I've gotten messages from people I haven't talked to in years, some supporting me, some calling me vindictive. Her mom called me crying, actually crying, saying I destroyed her daughter's dreams and that the money was just money but reputation was everything. I told her that her daughter destroyed her own reputation by lying, and she called me cold. The worst part is my own family. My mom sat me down last week and said I'd gone too far and that I should have been the bigger person. When I pointed out that I tried being the bigger person for months and got blocked for my trouble, she just said 2 wrongs don't make a right. My dad hasn't spoken to me since it happened. He thinks public humiliation is beneath our family or something. My sister is the only one fully on my side, but even she said I could have picked a better moment. Like when? When would have been the perfect time to expose someone who was actively profiting off erasing my help? The mutual friend told me my former friend had a complete breakdown the night of the launch. Left the event early, apparently sobbed in her car for an hour. Part of me felt bad hearing that. A small part. But then I remembered her laughing on that Instagram live, calling me jealous and sad, and the guilt disappeared. She tried to do damage control. Posted her truth on her blog about how she'd taken a personal loan from a friend but had worked tirelessly to build the business and how money doesn't equal partnership or ownership of someone's success. Completely missed the point. I never wanted ownership. I wanted honesty. I wanted my money back. And I didn't want to be painted as some jealous hanger-on when I'd literally funded her dream. Her remaining supporters started a hashtag. I'm not kidding. They tried to make it about women tearing down other women. About how I was threatened by her success and used the loan as an excuse. Someone made a whole thread about how lending money to friends is a gift, not an investment, and that I should have never expected repayment. We had a signed contract. A legal document. But sure, I'm the villain. Then things got weirder. She hired a lawyer. Sent me a cease and desist for defamation and harassment. I almost laughed. Defamation? I showed our actual signed contract. Her own signatures. How is the truth defamation? I got my own lawyer. He looked at everything and said she didn't have a case but that I should probably prepare for her to sue anyway, just to drain my resources. The consultation alone cost me $500. So now I'm spending more money to defend myself for asking for my money back. My job has been awkward too. People know. Someone recognized me from the video and now the whole office has seen it. My boss called me in to ask if there would be any professional repercussions for my personal matters. I said no, but honestly I don't know anymore. I finally sent her a formal demand letter through my lawyer. Gave her 30 days to pay the full $20,000 or I'm taking her to small claims court. Her lawyer responded saying she's experiencing financial hardship due to my actions and requested a payment plan. The audacity. Her business was thriving before I exposed her lies. Any financial hardship is from her own dishonesty catching up to her. My lawyer said we could agree to payments, but I said no. I want it all now. She had no problem taking all $20,000 from me in one go 3 years ago. I've lost friends over this. Real friends, or people I thought were friends. They think I'm bitter and vengeful. They think I should have just quietly sued her and moved on. But why should I protect her reputation when she destroyed mine first? She's the one who went on interviews and Instagram lives lying about being self-made. She's the one who called me jealous. I just showed people the truth. But I'm tired. The video views keep climbing and I keep getting tagged in comments. People are picking apart every aspect of my life now. Someone found my LinkedIn and left a review on my company page calling me unprofessional. I've had to make all my social media private. And I still don't have my money. My sister asked me last night if it was worth it. If the public vindication was worth all this chaos. I told her yes, but I'm not sure I meant it. I thought exposing her would feel like justice. It just feels exhausting. The court date is set for next month if she doesn't pay. My lawyer thinks we'll win easily, but that collecting might be difficult if she claims hardship. So I might win and still not see my money. Which means I went through all of this for nothing except becoming the villain in half the internet's eyes. I don't regret showing the contract. I don't regret speaking up. But I'm starting to wonder if I should have just accepted that some people are liars and let it go. Maybe my mom was right about being the bigger person. Though being the bigger person never got me my $20,000 back either. She showed up at my apartment. I was making coffee yesterday morning when someone started pounding on my door. Not knocking. Pounding. I looked through the peephole and there she was, hair a mess, no makeup, looking like she hadn't slept in days. I didn't open it. I said through the door, "You need to leave." She started yelling. "You ruined my life. You happy now? My business is dying. I lost everything." My neighbor across the hall opened her door, stared at us. I felt my face get hot. "You ruined your own life by lying," I said. "I have a lawyer. Talk to them." She kept yelling. Said I was a vindictive bitch, said I'd always been jealous of her, said the $20,000 meant nothing compared to the years of work she'd put in. I stood there with my hand on the doorknob, shaking, listening to her have a breakdown in my hallway. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. "I know about the affair." I opened the door. "What?" She looked almost triumphant, even with mascara smeared down her face. "Your ex. The one from 5 years ago. I know why you really broke up. And I'll tell everyone if you don't drop this. My ex cheated on me. It was humiliating and painful, and I'd never told anyone except her because she was my best friend. And now she was threatening to weaponize it." "That has nothing to do with you stealing from me," I said. "I didn't steal. You gave it to me. As a loan. That you agreed to pay back." She laughed, this ugly, desperate sound. "Take me to court then. I'll countersue for emotional distress. For reputational damage. I'll drag you through so much legal shit you'll wish you'd just let it go." I slammed the door in her face. She stood outside for another 10 minutes yelling before my neighbor threatened to call the cops, and she finally left. I called my lawyer immediately. Told him everything. He said her showing up was actually good for my case, that it showed harassment and instability. He said to document everything, don't engage, and let him handle it. But I couldn't stop shaking. The betrayal felt fresh all over again. She'd been my best friend. I trusted her with my money and my secrets, and she was using both against me now. 2 days later, she posted again. Another long Instagram post about cancel culture and how one mistake can destroy years of hard work. She didn't mention me by name, but everyone knew. The comments were split. Some people defending her, saying everyone deserves a second chance. Others calling her out for still not taking accountability. Then her ex-business partner did an interview. With an actual business podcast. He talked about their company, their split, and casually mentioned that he discovered she'd hidden significant financial backing from him. He said it made him question the entire foundation of their partnership. He didn't name me either, but he didn't have to. The interview went semi-viral in business circles. More bad press for her. I felt vindicated and guilty at the same time. My mom called me crying. Said her friend's daughter knows my former friend and that apparently she's been having panic attacks. That she can't sleep. That her therapist put her on medication. My mom begged me to drop it, said no amount of money was worth destroying someone like this. I asked if she'd feel the same way if someone had stolen $20,000 from her and then publicly called her jealous and sad. She got quiet. Then she said that's different. It's not different. But apparently when it's me, I'm supposed to just absorb the loss and the humiliation because anything else makes me the bad guy. My sister came over last night. Brought wine. We sat on my couch and she asked how I was really doing. I told her I felt insane. Like I was being gaslit by everyone into thinking I was wrong for wanting my money back. For wanting the truth to matter. She said, "You're not crazy. She's just louder than you." That stuck with me. She's been controlling the narrative this whole time. Even now, she's making herself the victim. And it's working on some people. The court date is in 2 weeks. My lawyer thinks we'll win, but that collecting will be difficult. He said she might file for bankruptcy, might claim her business collapse makes repayment impossible. So I could win in court and still never see my money. I asked what happens to the contract then. He said it becomes a worthless piece of paper. All of this, the viral video, the lost friendships, my family thinking I'm cruel, her showing up at my apartment, for a worthless piece of paper. But it's not about the money anymore. Maybe it never was. It's about the principle. It's about her lying and then villainizing me for telling the truth. It's about everyone expecting me to just take it quietly because confrontation makes people uncomfortable. I got an email this morning from someone who saw the video. They said they'd had a similar situation with a friend and that watching me stand up for myself helped them do the same. It was the first message that made me feel like maybe I'd done the right thing. But then I think about her outside my door, desperate and angry and falling apart. I think about my mom's friend saying she's on medication now. I think about how I wanted justice and somehow ended up being the villain in half the story. My sister said people will always side with whoever seems more damaged. That because she's crying and I'm not, she gets sympathy. That it's not fair, but it's true. I don't know what I expected. I thought exposing her would feel like closure. It doesn't. It feels like I'm in a battle that won't end even when the court rules in my favor. Because she'll still tell her version where I'm jealous and bitter. Her supporters will still send me hate. My family will still think I went too far. The only thing that keeps me going is knowing I was right. I did nothing wrong by asking for my money back. I did nothing wrong by showing proof when she called me a liar. But some days that doesn't feel like enough. I found out she's been telling people I sexually harassed her. My sister called me 3 days ago, voice shaking. She'd run into one of our mutual friends at the grocery store. The friend pulled her aside and asked if it was true that I'd made unwanted advances toward my former best friend years ago and that's why I was really trying to destroy her life now. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I made my sister repeat it twice because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She's literally making up sexual harassment allegations to explain away the loan. To make herself the victim and me the predator. And people are believing her. I called my lawyer immediately. He was silent for a long moment after I told him. Then he said this changed everything. That false accusations like this could be defamation, that we might have grounds for a countersuit. But his voice had this careful quality to it that made my hands shake. You need to understand, he said, that even fighting this will be expensive. And ugly. These kinds of accusations stick even when they're proven false. I asked him what I should do. He said document everything, don't engage with her directly, and wait for the court date next week. He said once we're in front of a judge with the contract, her credibility will be destroyed. But the way he said it didn't sound confident. It sounded like he was trying to convince himself as much as me. My phone hasn't stopped since I found out. People I haven't talked to in years asking if it's true. Some people defending me without even asking. Others going radio silent, which somehow feels worse than direct accusations. Work has been a nightmare. My boss called me in again. Said HR received an anonymous complaint about my conduct. When I asked what conduct, she got uncomfortable. Said someone alleged I had a history of inappropriate behavior with female friends and they needed to investigate. I knew immediately it was her. Or one of her supporters. The timing was too perfect. I've been put on paid leave while they investigate. Paid leave sounds nice until you realize it means they're taking the accusations seriously enough to remove you from the office. My coworkers know. I can see it in their faces, the way conversations stop when I log into Slack. My sister has been my only real support. She's furious, wants to confront my former friend directly. I told her not to. That it's what she wants, more drama to fuel her victim narrative. But last night my sister sent me a screenshot. My former friend posted on her Instagram story, no names but obvious who she meant. When you speak your truth and people try to silence you with lawsuits. When you survive harassment and your harasser plays victim. Stay strong. The comments were full of support. Heart emojis and so brave and we believe you. I read through them until I felt sick. My mom called me yesterday. She'd heard the rumors. She asked me point blank if I'd ever made her uncomfortable. Her own daughter, and she had to ask. I said no. Obviously no. I reminded her that we'd been best friends for over a decade, that I'd helped her start her business, that this was clearly retaliation for the lawsuit. My mom got quiet. Then she said, I believe you. But you need to drop this. It's gotten too big. Just let her keep the money and walk away. I told her I couldn't. That letting her win meant accepting these lies. That if I dropped it now, everyone would think the accusations were true and I was running away. She started crying. Said she was worried about me, that this was consuming my life, that no amount of money was worth this. Maybe she's right. I haven't slept properly in weeks. I've lost weight. Every notification makes my heart race thinking it's another accusation, another person believing her lies. But I can't let it go. If I drop the lawsuit now, she wins everything. She keeps my money, destroys my reputation, and gets to play the survivor. And I become the person who sexually harassed her former best friend and tried to ruin her life when she rejected me. That's the story that will follow me. Not the truth. Not the contract or the loan or the lies about being self-made. Just the harassment allegations and my retreat. The court date is in 5 days. My lawyer keeps saying we have a strong case. That the contract is solid, that her changing stories and public lies will hurt her credibility. But he hasn't addressed the harassment accusations directly. When I pressed him on it, he said we'd deal with one thing at a time. I found out through another mutual friend that she's been meeting with a PR person. Actually hired someone to manage her image through this. The friend said she's planning some kind of statement after the court date, regardless of how it goes. She's treating this like a media campaign. Like if she controls the narrative well enough, the facts won't matter. And the terrifying thing is, it might work. I have the contract. I have the truth. But she has the tears and the trauma story and the Instagram followers who believe her without question. My sister asked me last night what I'd do if I won in court but lost everywhere else. If the judge ordered her to pay but everyone still thought I was the bad guy. I didn't have an answer. I keep thinking about that day at the product launch. How clear everything felt. How simple. She lied. I had proof. I showed it. Justice. But nothing about this feels like justice anymore. It feels like drowning while people on the shore debate whether I deserve to be saved. The worst part is wondering if she actually believes her own lies now. If she's told the harassment story so many times that it's become real to her. If in her mind, I really am the villain and she really is the victim. Or maybe she knows exactly what she's doing. Maybe this was always the plan if I push too hard. Destroy my credibility so thoroughly that the truth becomes irrelevant. 5 days until court. 5 days until I sit across from her in front of a judge and we both present our versions of reality. Mine with documents and dates and signatures. Hers with tears and trauma and a story people want to believe. I don't know what happens if I win. I don't know what happens if I lose. All I know is that I'm in too deep to back out now, and the bottom keeps getting deeper. I won in court. She has to pay me back the full $20,000 plus court costs. The judge tore apart her defense in about 15 minutes. But I lost everything else. The hearing was last week. She showed up with her lawyer, wearing this demure outfit like she was going to a funeral. I wore a blazer my sister picked out, tried to look professional and put together even though I'd barely slept in days. Her lawyer tried to argue the loan was a gift. My lawyer presented the contract with both our signatures, the payment terms, everything spelled out clearly. Her lawyer tried to say I'd coerced her into signing. The judge asked for evidence of coercion. There wasn't any. Then her lawyer brought up the harassment allegations. Said I had a history of inappropriate behavior, that the loan was part of a pattern of control. My lawyer objected immediately. The judge asked if there were any charges filed, any police reports, any evidence whatsoever. Nothing. Just allegations whispered to mutual friends and posted vaguely on Instagram. The judge looked at her directly and said something I'll never forget. Ms., this court deals in facts and documentation, not social media narratives. You signed a contract. You accepted $20,000. You agreed to repayment terms. Your personal feelings about the plaintiff do not negate your legal obligations. She started crying. Real tears, shoulders shaking, the works. The judge was unmoved. Judgment in my favor. Full repayment within 90 days or wage garnishment begins. Court costs of $3,400 also her responsibility. I should have felt victorious. I felt empty. We left through different exits. I saw her in the parking lot getting into her car, still crying. Part of me wanted to feel satisfied. Mostly I just felt tired. The story didn't end there though. It never does. She posted about the ruling that night. Framed it as the system failing survivors and how money can buy justice. Didn't mention the contract, didn't mention her lies about being self-made, didn't mention that she'd spent 3 years refusing to pay me back. Just positioned herself as a victim of a vindictive ex-friend with resources. Her supporters ate it up. My Instagram DMs filled with hate. People calling me an abuser who used the legal system to harass my victim. Someone found my LinkedIn and left reviews calling me predatory. Another person found my mom's Facebook and sent her messages about what a terrible daughter she raised. My job finished their investigation. HR cleared me of any wrongdoing, said the allegations were unsubstantiated and likely retaliatory. But my boss suggested I consider a fresh start elsewhere because the situation had created an uncomfortable environment. I wasn't fired. But I was politely encouraged to leave. After 6 years at that company, I started job hunting last week. 3 interviews so far. 2 of them Googled me first. I could tell by their questions, the way they danced around asking if I was that person from the viral video. One interviewer directly asked about my interpersonal conflict resolution skills. I have a judgment saying I'm owed $20,000. I have a court record proving she lied. But when employers Google my name, they find articles about online harassment and ruined product launches and sexual misconduct allegations. They find her crying Instagram posts with thousands of supportive comments. My sister keeps telling me it'll blow over. That in 6 months no one will remember. But the internet doesn't forget. This follows me now. My mom hasn't spoken to me in 2 weeks. She thinks I should have dropped it, that winning in court wasn't worth losing my job and my reputation. Maybe she's right. The $20,000 I'm supposedly getting doesn't cover what I've lost. And I probably won't even get it. My lawyer says she's already talking about filing for bankruptcy. If she does that before the 90 days are up, the debt gets discharged. I win in court and still never see my money. He says we can fight the bankruptcy, argue the debt was obtained through fraud. More legal fees. More months of this consuming my life. I told him I'd think about it. The mutual friend who tried to stay neutral finally picked a side. She sent me a long message about how both of you have valid pain but that she couldn't support my methods anymore. That showing up to the product launch was cruel and that dragging it through court was obsessive. I blocked her. I'm done explaining myself to people who want to play both sides. My former friend posted yesterday a photo of her at a coffee shop, Looking peaceful and pretty. Caption about healing from toxic people and choosing to focus on growth. Comments full of people telling her how strong she is, how inspiring. Meanwhile, I'm unemployed, my family barely talks to me, and I can't go on a job interview without someone asking about the viral video where I humiliated my former best friend at her big moment. I got what I wanted. A judge agreed I was right. She has to pay me back. The truth is on legal record. But she got to keep being the victim. She got to keep her followers and her sympathy and her narrative. And I got to be the villain who couldn't let go of $20,000, who ruined a woman's business over money, who publicly humiliated someone at their vulnerable moment. The worst part is I'd do it again. Not because I'm vindictive or obsessed. But because she was wrong. She lied, she stole, and she tried to destroy my reputation when I asked for my money back. And everyone wanted me to just absorb that quietly because confrontation is uncomfortable. My sister asked me last night if it was worth it. The honest answer is I don't know. I proved I was right, but I'm not sure anyone cares except the judge who ruled in my favor. She's probably never paying me back anyway. She'll file bankruptcy or disappear or just ignore the judgment. And I'll be left with a piece of paper saying I won and a Google search history saying I'm an abuser. I don't regret exposing her. I regret thinking the truth would matter more than the story people wanted to believe. I regret thinking proof would be enough. I regret not understanding that in the court of public opinion, whoever cries loudest wins. So yeah. I won. And I lost everything that actually mattered.